Sorry, it just got disconnected.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes. Yes, Dr. Amit, you are audible.
Yeah,
So,
thank you very much.
Dr. Amit will
So,
take class on SPSS. He will demonstrate. He will mainly take the practical part of this, how you can use SPSS for doing research, because it is one of the most commonly used is software tool by us. And he is a very enthusiastic researcher and academician. He is from RIMS, Rajendra Institute of Medical Science from Ranchi. Thank you, Dr. Amit, for accepting to take this class. Over to you.
thank you for a very nice presentation. So is my slide is visible?
Yes. Yes.
So good afternoon, everyone. As I was told to give you the demonstration in SPSS for applying the very commonly used statistical test, what we are using regularly. So I want to make this session interactive. So please feel free. Any question, interrupt me anywhere. If you are uh, having any query, please ask. So I would like to know from the participants how many types of or how many names of statistical test you have heard before. Anyone can tell the name of the test, what you are aware about?
Anyone can unmute and tell. No.
Name of any statistical test you might have heard while you are doing your thesis or any research. All the audience are able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So just name any statistical test. If you are any statistical test, if you have heard before, then please name it. Any name. Venkata Shaman, yes, tell me.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Parametric test and non-parametric test. In parametric test, independent t-test.
Okay.
In non-parametric test, Mann-Whitney test.
Okay.
And chi-square test.
Yes. So it is not chi, it is chi-square test.
Chi-square test.
So chi-square test. So do you have idea ki when we apply t-test, independent t-test, when we apply chi-square test?
For independent t-test, two samples, two independent samples, and the variable is the dependent variable is scale variable.
Which variable?
Metric variable, scale variable.
Scale variable. Okay, you are telling more in the statistical language. So I will make it some simple when I will give you the demonstration. So, okay, so as he suggested, there are three names he uttered. One is student sample t-test, chi-square test, Mann-Whitney test. So these are the tests we commonly used. So there are some more tests also like one-way ANOVA analysis, repeated measure of the ANOVA, pair t-test. There are many names. So, but we have to know when we apply the statistical test at which situation. Then only the SPSS demonstration will be useful. So I have 3-4 slides, I think. So I will tell you when we apply what statistical test, then we will enter to the SPSS. So another question will be the p-value. So what is p-value? Anyone can answer? What is the p-value? What we understand by the p-value?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon. Tell me.
Good afternoon. P-value is a value for significance of a test.
Yeah.
And if you get a p-value of less than 0.05, that means the test we are doing is significant and is related not by casuality.
Yeah, so not by chance we can say it. Okay, so very clearly he told very clearly about the p-value. So let us take an example. So I will try to make it more simple. Suppose two person are meeting in a cafeteria for 2 consecutive days. Suppose these things are happening, then it can be due to the chance. Maybe 3 days also they are meeting in a cafeteria. It may be due to the chance. But if consequently, if two person are meeting in the cafeteria for 10 regular days, then it is not happening by chance. So maybe there are pre-planning, we can say it, so that they want to meet in a cafeteria in a very specific time. So these things are happening beyond the chance. So anything is happening beyond the chance, then we will say the difference, what is happening, what are the thing we want to comparing is not happening due to the chance, it is beyond the chance, and that time the p-value will come into the picture. So p-value always, once we test the hypothesis, there is one null hypothesis where we consider the groups are similar, there are no any difference between the groups what we are comparing, and if it is significant, if it is less than 5%. So, and in the statistical term, what he told like 0.05. If this value is coming, then we will tell difference what we are getting, that is not due to the chance, that might be the real difference that we can able to say. So there is cutoff point what we made in the statistics less than 0.05. So everyone should remember it, because every time once we see the p-value interpretation, you have to see if the p-value is less than this point, then you will tell it is significant. If it is not, then you will tell it is not significant. So p-value, usually there are two types what we use in the statistics. One is one-tailed p-value and another is two-tailed p-value. Anyone have prior idea when we use the one-tailed p-value and when we use two-tailed p-value, and what are the difference in both? I think even in the sample size class also, there was some non-inferiority trial was discussed.
I think is it like about equivalence trial? Equivalence trial, like where we can see check both superiority and inferiority. They are two-tailed, two-sided, and in the superior non-inferiority is one-sided. Is it like that?
Uh, in the non-inferiority, let us make it more simple.
Okay.
So when we apply the one-tailed test, when we know the direction of the effect size in the beginning of the applying of the statistical test. So when we know the effect size, we are knowing beforehand what is going to happen in our statistical analysis. Like in the non-inferiority trial example, what we do in the non-inferiority, there is one already established drug which is being used, and we are going to make another drug which is non-inferior to the already existing drug. Why we do the non-inferiority trial? Because maybe the existing trial which is established in the very high in price, and we want to make one cheaper drug, and that could be the non-inferior to that one. So right from the beginning, we are claiming that my drug will not be superior to the already existing drug, but it can be non-inferior to some margin which could be clinically acceptable to us. Like suppose the existing drug is reducing the mortality of 50%. Okay, and that is very costly. Like in the example of the Guillain-Barré syndrome, we can say the IVIG, this is the standard method of the treatment, which is very costly, 2 lakhs rupees per patient it may go. But there are trials which have been done on the steroid, which are telling, okay, if the IVIG is not available, we can go with the steroid, and that is non-inferior to that IVIG. Steroid is not claiming as it will be better than the IVIG, but it is non-inferior. So suppose IVIG is improving the improving the outcome by the 50%, then the steroid might be also approximately 45% or 46%, and that is clinically acceptable to that scenario. So right from the beginning, if anyone knows the hypothesis, then we apply one tail test, like in the non-inferiority trial example. So it is clear, I think. Is it clear to all? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so now you come to the two-tail test. Two-tail test, if we don't know the direction of the effect size, right from the beginning, we don't know whether drug A will be better or drug B will be better. If this type of the scenario is happening, then we will apply two-tail test, because many drugs, suppose it is already available in market, new drugs is there, and you want to test the which one is better, and right from the beginning you don't know the direction, then in that type of the scenario, you should apply two-tail test. So this is the basic difference. One-tail test, if you know the direction of the effect. Two-tail test, if you don't know the direction of the effect. So now let us take an example. So you have to tell me what type of one-tailed or two-tailed test we will apply in this scenario. Compare the IQ between the normal children and children with the Down syndrome.
One-tailed.
Yeah, one-tailed, because you already knows the direction. Normal school-going children will have the higher IQ. So very correct. Now in this example, one-tailed or two-tailed? Difference in IQ between male and female.
Sir, your
Two-tailed.
slides are not moving.
Slides are not moving?
No.
Is it?
No, slides are not moving.
Is
Please
it
start.
moving?
No. Please start the slideshow. It's moving, but it is not in the slideshow now.
Now it is.
Now I
visible?
can see. Yeah, we can see the find the significance V value. I can see the slide.
My slide is difference in IQ between male and female. Is it visible?
I can
No.
see here find the significant P value. That's
Okay. So you are screen sharing. So I should reshare the slide. I think maybe it is stuck. No.
okay.
Stop share. Now is it visible?
Yes, visible.
Now this is the example. You have to tell me one-tailed or two-tailed.
Two-tailed.
Two-tailed, because everyone knows, we don't know the direction, whether male IQ will be higher or female IQ will be higher. So definitely in any time, if you this type of the scenario will fall, then you have to make it very clear कि one-tailed or two-tailed p-value you have to use it, because statistical software will give you both. So you have to choose according to your hypothesis. Now you have to tell me which p-value is significant in A, B, C, D, E. Everyone should try to answer this question.
Slides
Sir,
not moving.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Is my slide is visible or not?
So you
Your
can.
slides are not moving, sir. Your
No,
slides are.
It's still there in the one tail and two tails. IQ and
Oh,
between male and
why,
female.
then why it is happening?
Can you start slide slow? Slide show is not started.
Slide show, I am doing only the slide show only.
No, it is not coming actually.
Share screen. I have to go to the where share screen no only.
Yes, yes, can.
Share screen, then after
Just share screen.
Then this is my slide, and then I am sharing. That is the thing I have done.
Your slides are visible now.
Now it is moving my slide.
Again, yeah, we can see the find the significant p value. This slide.
Yeah. This is the slide I wanted to show.
Okay.
So is it visible, no, to everyone?
Yes, visible.
So okay. So let us see if it is moving or not. So just answer me, which p value is significant in this case?
C and D.
C and E.
C.
C only C.
And who are telling E also is significant? Anyone are telling E also is significant?
No, it's more than 0.5.
So E is not significant because it is more than 0.05. So any p value should be less than 0.05, then only we can consider it as significant. So now my next question is, can p value be 0?
No, sir.
My slide is visible, no? It is moving,
Yes,
na?
yes.
Okay, thank you. So why not p value can be 0? Because statistical software output, if you see, many times you will see the p value 0.
Yes, it can be 0.
So,
yeah.
You can see many times it will give you the
Yes.
result 0. But why 0 is not possible? One person is telling it is not possible. Why?
SPSS is not giving 0 nowhere. It is giving always less than 0.00001, like that. So many zeros. Okay. It never gives 0.
No, but many software will give you the 0 value also. But my question is whether it is possible or not.
Not possible.
Why not possible? That is
Just always by chance it can occur.
Yeah, because p value is always the probability value. Okay, and probability cannot be 100% at any cost. P stand for probability, so it cannot be 100%. Only one thing is 100% in this world. What is that? Anyone can name it?
But
Yeah.
Death.
Death is not birth. Birth will we don't know. We are not sure. But death we are sure. Everyone will have to die one day. So only the death is, we can say the p value is significant or 0. But other than that, what the comparison we are doing, we cannot say the p value 0 at any way. Probability cannot be 100% at any way. So what is the solution? Many statistical software give you the p value 0.0. So in that scenario, you have to write it. There are guidelines for writing the p value in such scenario. You have to write less than 0.001. These are the guidelines you have to use while you get in contact with p value 0.000 in any statistical software output. P value also will give you 0.00, but we will not write 0.000. We'll write less than 0.001. So now you come to the statistical test. Is my slide is visible?
yes,
It is moving, no? Okay.
moving.
So now you come to the statistical test in the SPSS. So statistical test depends on the types of the data what we are collected. And the types of the data, if we can say in terms of the variable, types of the variable knowledge is very important. It is basic for deciding the or applying any statistical test. I'm quite sure you are already knowing the types of the variable. So for your recap also, what I will say, there are variable are categorized into the two category. One is categorical variable and one is the continuous variable, the another types of the variable. In the statistical book, you will read many types of the variable like the scale variable, nominal variable, ordinal variable, ratio variable, many variable you will encounter in the statistical book. But for the applying statistical test, what I used to tell in my statistical workshops, you have to remember only two types of the variable. If you know it, then it is applying a statistical test will be very easy. One is the categorical variable and another is the continuous variable. So what are the continuous variable? continuous variable, any real number can take infinite number of the values. So if any real number you are collecting in your study, in your research, then that is called continuous variable. Like for an example, age or BMI, total cholesterol, and HbA1c level. These are the variable your real value. What are the values you are having that you are collecting or that you are entering in your data set? So this type of the variable will call continuous variable. You have to remember it. So those who are not knowing, everyone will have to remember it. Continuous variable, any numerical value, if you are collecting it, that is continuous variable. And another type of the variable is called categorical variable, where you are collecting your data in the category. Where the continuous nature of the data collection is not possible. Like suppose we want to collect the data for gender, then we have only two options, male and female. So if the data is collected in the category, it is called categorical variable, like male and female, death, alive, young, old, like some designation, assistant professor, associate professor, senior professor. So any data, if you are collecting in the category, it is called categorical variable. And categorical variable do not have the unit. But continuous variable, if you see, they have the unit also. Like in age, there is years. We are collecting year, month, days. In what way we are collecting the age data? BMI, there are unit. Total cholesterol level, there are unit. So everywhere, if you see the continuous variable, often have the units. That is called the continuous variable. These two names you have to remember. For your exercise, I have some example, and you have to tell me what types of the variable these are very quickly. So number one is age less than 50 or more than equal to 50. Which type of the variable it is?
Continuous.
Yes? Continuous.
Continuous.
So any other opinion for this? Age less than 50, more than 50? It is categorical or continuous?
Categorical.
Categorical.
So someone are telling continuous. Why it is continuous?
Categorical.
So most of them are telling categorical. Then categorical is the right answer. What I told you, if any numerical value you are collecting, then it is continuous. And if you are collecting in the category, limited category, like only two category, here what we are having, age less than 50 or more than equal to 50. We have only two options here. So limited option, then the data will be categorical data. If you are collecting the numerical, then it is continuous data. So that we have to remember it. And someone tell the binary data. So binary also in the is coming under in the form of categorical data only, where only two possibility. So there are many names in the statistical books. So if you see very clear in detail, then you will find only two types of the variable will solve you the purpose for applying the statistical test. So what I tell you, remember only two, categorical and continuous. So now second one, age in years, which type of the variable?
Continuous.
Everyone agree, continuous?
Yes.
Total glucose level in the blood, continuous, categorical?
Continuous.
Continuous.
Continuous. Total TLC count?
Continuous.
Continuous.
Continuous. Recovered, not recovered?
Categorical.
Categorical.
Total cholesterol?
Continuous.
Continuous.
HbA1c level?
Continuous.
And vegetarian and non-vegetarian?
Categorical.
Categorical.
Okay, if these two things is clear to you, then my work will be very simple to give the demonstration for statistical test when we will apply what type of the test. So let us see, this is the one example data set what I have collected in some of the statistical workshop I conducted physically. So I asked this question from the workshop participants. What is your age? What is gender, height, weight, blood glucose level, whether you use the iPhone or not, what is your designation? So designation was in the 5 category, professor, associate professor, assistant professor, the junior resident, senior resident, and other. So these are the category in the categorical format. Food choice I asked, veg, non-veg, and the systolic blood pressure and the diastolic blood pressure. These data I asked my workshop participant to fill it. I have the data with me. in the Excel sheet. I will first show you the Excel sheet so that you can see how we enter the data in the Excel sheet. My Excel sheet is visible to everyone?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yes.
Is it visible?
I think you have to stop sharing screen this PPT and go to Excel sheet.
Oh, again I have to do the same, no?
Yeah, because otherwise we are looking at only this.
Okay, okay. No issue. Now is it visible, I think?
Yes, now visible.
So this is the Excel sheet, no? Some of the statistical workshop I conducted, and I asked my workshop participant to fill the designation. Designation, just you see, data was collected in the category and it was coded 32145. So 1 was for the professor, 2 is for the associate professor, 3 is for the assistant professor, 3 is for JRSR, and 5 is for others. Now the gender I asked, male, female, they filled. 1 is for female and 2 is for male. Age in year I asked them to fill. Height in height in feet, height in meter, weight, glucose level, what they remember last time they did, and the systolic blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure, iPhone user 01, and the food choice, veg or non-veg. And I asked them, one questionnaire was also given to know them what was the statistical knowledge before the doing their appearing to the workshop, prior statistical knowledge, and after the conduction of the workshop, again I asked the same question. Then this was the response from the workshop participants. That data I have collected from them, or from this data set I will use for doing the statistical testing in the SPSS. So if I want to go again, I have to stop share, no? Then I have to go again, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is my screen is visible.
Yes.
So now you come to the statistical analysis. It is divided into the two parts. One is the descriptive statistics and another is the inferential statistics. Every published paper, if you read the statistical analysis portion, they will write that descriptive statistics was used to describe the baseline characteristics of the study participants. So descriptive statistics means to describe the population, your study population. What was the mean age? How many number of the male and females? How many of them were hypertensive? So how many of them were diabetic? So these type of the statistics is called descriptive statistics. And another is the inferential statistics, where we try to take the inference. Inference means we are comparing the two groups and we are getting the p-value. So p-value will tell us whether the group are significant or not. In the descriptive statistics, we do not calculate any p-value. In the inferential statistics, we calculate the p-value to know whether our groups are significantly different or not. So these two statistics. Now in the descriptive statistics, what we use the mean, we use the confidence interval for mean, we use variance, we use standard deviation, we use interquartile range, minimum, maximum, range, number, percentage. These are the values we use for the descriptive statistics. So for categorical variable, what we learned just few minutes ago. So what descriptive statistics we use for the categorical variable? We use number and percentage. That you have to remember. So suppose male and female, these data we have to report, then we will tell, suppose number of males were this many and this is the percentage for those males. Diabetes, no diabetes. So suppose 40% person were diabetic, and what are the number in that study subject? So that is called categorical data descriptive statistic representation. You have to do for the continuous variable. We use descriptive statistics, mean and standard deviation. for the normally distributed data. Normally distributed data, when data is representative to the population, we can say. And if it is not normally distributed, then we use median and interquartile range. So that you will see in the descriptive statistics part. So now I have some question for you. You have to tell me what descriptive statistics we will use. This is the one data set what we collected, example data set. Number one is the patient ID, then name, then age, gender, blood glucose level, and hypertension. So just you see, gender is the categorical format, age is in the continuous data, blood glucose is continuous data, and hypertension is the categorical data. Now you have to tell me what descriptive statistics you will use to report age.
It's mean or median.
Mean in case of data is normally distributed, and median in case of not normally distributed. Okay.
Can I use median in case of parametric? If I'm not sure whether the data is parametric or non-parametric, can I use parametric test in non-parametric, like median for in parametric?
Median for parametric you are want to know? No, but why we will use the why? I think it is not recommended. If you see the strength of the parametric test will always be the strong and the more justified way, because it is representative to the population. And if it is normally distributed, then what will happen? Your mean median will be same. Okay.
Yes.
So if this type of the scenario will happen, then there is no need to report the median if your data is normally distributed. Okay.
Okay, right.
Is it clear, no?
Yeah.
Okay, then another is what descriptive statistics you will use for the gender representation?
Number and percentage.
Number and percentage, very clear. Now I will move to the next. I will go to the SPSS in one go. Yes, now you come to the inferential statistics, okay, where we get the p-value. So inferential statistics will completely depend on the distribution of the data. Distribution of the data, what we can say, it is if we are plotting a histogram with your continuous data and we are getting the bell-shaped curve, then we tell the data is representative to the population. Why it comes the bell shape? Bell shape means in every temple you can see the shape of the bell, just in the outside the temple or the inside the temple. Similarly, if you plot the data in the histogram, it will come in a bell shape curve. Why it happens? In the bell, the middle portion where the more frequency of the subject will fall. If you take the example of the height and you want to plot a bell histogram with the height of the Indian population, then you will see the most average heighted person like 5 feet 4 inches or 5 feet 3 inches. These type of the people will be more in the population, or since their number will be more, so in the middle one there will be it will take the shape of the bell. And in the left hand side also if you go, then dwarfer people will be very less in the number, and the right hand side also if you go, the taller people number will be very less in the population. So what does this mean? It means the data is representative to the population. So what inference you will derive, that will represent your population. So similarly, we have to check the normality of the data. If it is fulfilling the assumption for the normality, then you will use the parametric test. If it is not meeting the assumption for the bell-shaped curve, then ideally it is recommended to use the non-parametric test. So this is the test what we use in the bivariate analysis, which is very commonly used in regular practice. There are difference between the parametric and the non-parametric test also. In the parametric test, if anyone want to know what value parametric test uses for knowing the difference between the two groups, then I will tell you the parametric test uses the exact numerical value what you have collected for the data analysis. In case of non-parametric test, it is not using the exact numerical value what you have collected. So how the non-parametric test is being done? Non-parametric test convert all the data into the ranking. So suppose this is the data you have collected as, for example, 15, 100, 101, 102, 200, 500. Suppose this is the value you got in a doing some enzyme marker using the ELISA test. So in the non-parametric test, everything will be converted into the rank 1, rank 2, depending on the ascending order, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And from this data only, the non-parametric test will be done. So that's why non-parametric test will not be so much powerful as compared to the parametric test. So, if we do not have the representativeness for the population, then it is recommended to use the non-parametric test. That is the common scenario. This is the bell shape. This is this type of the graph you will get if the data is normally distributed. There might be some deviation, you can say it, but so you get the more or less similar to this. And there are tests also, like Saparo will test. There are many tests which can tell you whether that difference is, whether data is normally distributed or not. So that you can apply to know whether data is normally distributed or not. So now you come to the bivariate analysis. In the bivariate analysis, if your both the variable what you are comparing is categorical in nature, and another situation will fall where your group variable is categorical and your test variable is continuous. Let us understand this thing in the next example. So categorical versus categorical. In the last time also we learned the types of the variable. Suppose we want to know the age less than 50 years and more than 50 years, whether it is different between male and female. So now both the variables are categorical in nature. Male, female is also categorical, and the age less than 50, more than 50 is also categorical in nature. If this type of scenario will fall, categorical and categorical, then you have to use the chi-square test. Chi-square test will be very commonly used. This is the basic funda to know when we apply the chi-square test. And in the another case also, chi-square test, some modification is there when your sample size is very less, and once you make the 2 by 2 table and some of the frequency has falling number less than 5, then there should be some correction required, which uses the corrected format of the chi-square test is called Fisher exact test, that we apply when your both the group are categorical. So group number 2 and test number is 2, chi-square test. If you have more than group variable 2 and test variable also number is more than 2, then also the chi-square test. So categorical variable, there is no any confusion. You have to use the chi-square test. So now some example. So in our workshop data, I will show you in the SPSS also how to do this testing. I have the question from you also. We want to know, is there any difference in the iPhone user between male and female? So we have two groups, male and female, and test variable is iPhone user. Which test we will apply in this case?
Chi-square test.
Chi-square test. Everyone agrees with the chi-square test? I want to know from all participants. Chi-square test, everyone agree?
Yes, sir.
So both the groups, both the test variable and the group variable are categorical. So in that scenario, we have to use the chi-square test. Okay. The another example you have to tell me, is there any difference in the food choice between veg and non-veg, between male and female? Which type of the test we will use?
Again, chi-square test.
Again, chi-square test. So now I will go to the SPSS and I will tell you how to do the chi-square test in the SPSS. So I have to again stop sharing the screen. Then again I have to. Okay. So this is the SPSS. It is already open. So now I will go from the beginning, how you will import your data to the SPSS, because it is very important. Is it visible? My SPSS window is visible to everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
visible.
Okay, so this type of the window will appear when you open your SPSS. This type of the window will appear. So first step would be you have to import your Excel dataset to the SPSS software. So just you see my cursor where and you follow my cursor how to do it. This I will click into the file, then I will go to the open. Then we will go to the data because we want to import the data from the Excel to the SPSS. Then this window will appear. Then we will select which type of the file we want to import. There are many types of the file we can import in the SPSS. Since my data is in the Excel format, so I will go to the Excel. I will select it, and then I will go to the my source data file where my data is located. So this thing we will go to the my file. So my file is in the Dropbox, and I will choose my location where I have stored my or saved my file. So this is the data. This is the data file, the Excel file where I have collected the data for the workshop participant. This will I will select. Oh, so this is not allowing me to open it. The reason behind this, because this file is already open. So the Excel file, what you want to import, that should be closed. Then only you can import your data. So now again, I am going to the file, open, data, then Excel file. So now you see my data is imported. Is this window is visible to everyone? Hello? My
Yes.
SPSS file is visible to everyone?
I think so.
So
Is
there are two view. One is the variable view, one is the data view. The both the view are visible to all.
No, sir. Only test.
only the test you can see.
T-test you can see. Okay, okay. Maybe there are problem. I think they should allow us to. That is the problem of online format workshop. So now is it visible to everyone?
Yes, visible.
Okay. So now you see, I have imported my data into the SPSS software. So SPSS software have two view. One is the data view, just to follow my cursor, and another is the variable view. In the variable view, you will describe the variable and you label the variable so anyone can remember it. Okay. And in the data view, the data, what data got collected, that data is stored in the data variable file. So you see all the Excel data is now in the SPSS, or after that we will start our analysis. So before going to the analysis, there are some process need to be done in the SPSS. In the variable view, you have to give the values, what values you have, what code was used for the which category. So like the designation, no designation, I have collected the data in the code 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to tell to the SPSS ki what are the code 1, what are the meaning of code 2, what are the meaning of code 3. So here you have to write, you have that will label the variable, it will allow you. So here you can write the designation, and here you will have to give the values. So if you click it here, you can fill it what the values meaning it. Suppose 1, I have given the code for the professor, so I will write professor for 1. Again, the 2 code I have given for the associate professor, so I will write the associate. The 3 code I had given for the assistant professor, so I am writing assistant. Now for SR, JRSR, and 5 code I had given for the others. So that labeling I have to do so that we can interpret our analysis very clearly. After doing all, we will click the OK, and after the OK, you can see it. SPSS now know what are the meaning of 1 code, what are the meaning of 2 code. Similarly, for the gender, we will do for the gender coding. Values 1 for female, and 2 for male. So that is okay. The age we have to not give anything, but we can label it, because numerical value we have to not do anything because it is already in the number. But for the categorical variable we have to give it. Now iPhone user, iPhone 0 was no iPhone. 1 is for iPhone. That is done. Then 4, 1 is veg and 2 is non-veg. 1 is veg. So now I am done with the completing the giving the values for the variable in the SPSS. Now, what was my first question? We wanted to know whether the iPhone user differ between male and female. Okay. So how to do this analysis? I will go to the analyze. My screen is visible to everyone.
Visible.
My screen is visible.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we will go to the analyze. Then we will go to the descriptive statistics. What test we already know? Chi-square test. You already told me chi-square test will be the correct test for this scenario, because both the test variable and group variable are categorical in nature. So descriptive statistics, then we will go to the cross tab. So cross tab will have to select it. In the cross tab, you have to select the variable in the row and column. In the column variable, we will select the group variable where we want to compare it. So male and female is our group. So male and female I will take in the column, and in the row we will take the iPhone user. iPhone user, it is now in the row, and once you drag it here, then you have to click in the statistics part, and you have to select the chi-square. Tick it only in the chi-square, so it will do the chi-square test. Then you press the continue. Then in the cell variable, because you wanted to know some percentage also in the table 2 by 2 table, so you take the column percentage, then continue. Then after doing this, you have to press OK. Once you press the OK, then this window will appear for the chi-square test analysis in the SPSS. So anyone, this is the 2 by 2 table between the iPhone user and the gender.
We have not seen the window, the result window.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, we can't see the result window.
You cannot see, is it?
Only this, we can't see the result window.
Oh my God. Why this is happening? Now you can see the result window.
Now you can see.
Again, it is Zoom is giving lots of problem. I think earlier I have done the class in Zoom, but this type of the problem was not there.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So now you see the 2 by 2 table is visible to everyone.
Yes, visible.
So now you have to tell me how many females are using iPhone. Number and percentage.
18.
18. And what are the percentage?
47.4%.
Okay. And what about male?
And male, you are using iPhone 8, percentage
Yes,
17.8%.
very correct. So are you able to see the difference in the iPhone use?
Yes.
Yes. So now we will check the p-value, whether p-value is significant or not. So the p-value, this is the p-value. Pearson chi-square p-value we have to see in this case. The p-value is 0.004. Okay. So now you have to tell me whether it is significant or not significant.
Significant. Significant.
Significant. So the interpretation would be like that. Females are using iPhone higher in number compared to males, which is statistically significant. Okay, correct?
Yes.
Now we will see the another hypothesis for the difference in the food choice between male and female. So again, I will go to the analyze. Then we will go to the descriptive statistics. Then we will go to the cross tab. In the cross tab, we will have remove the iPhone to the food choice. And everything will be same. Then again, we will press OK. Then this window will appear. So everyone can see this output, or I have to do again stop share and sharing screen.
We can see the cross steps.
You can see this, no? This window you can able to see it, no?
Yeah. The cross step you can see.
Okay, okay. So what are the non-veg user, non-vegetarian in the female subjects?
23,
23 and percentage?
60.5%.
Yeah, and in the males?
27, 60%.
So do you able to see the difference in both?
No, not much of a difference.
So what is the p-value in this case?
Should be more than 0.05.
So can you figure it out? What is the p-value in this case?
0.02.
0.02.
0.002.
So is it significant or not?
Yes, it's significant.
Then how it is happening?
I don't know.
So why it is happening? Because you are not seeing the real place where the p-values are coming. So p-value place is here. Asymptomatic significance two-tailed. This is 0.961.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So this is the p-value. So p-value is more than 0.05. Very close, very much similar in the food choice, male and female. 0.96. So statistically, we can infer that there is no significant difference in the food choice between male and females. So that is the interference in the case of the chi-square. Then we will go to the t-test. Okay, because time is not very much sufficient to go into the detail, but I will give you some example for the t-test. So my window is visible, no? SPSS window, output file. Is it visible?
Cross tabs are visible.
Cross tabs are visible. Okay, okay. So now you come to the t-test. When we apply the t-test we apply at the situation when the group variables are categorical in nature, like male, female, or drug A, drug B, two groups. So suppose we have two drug only, drug A and drug B, then it is also the group variable is in the categorical format, or male or female, that is also categorical in format. And your test variable is in the continuous in nature. Then we apply the t-test. Just you see this table. Is this slide is visible to everyone? Categorical versus continuous?
Yes.
So anyone, if you want to know which test we will apply at what scenario, if you take the picture of this slide, you can apply statistical test very easily in whatever the situation. Okay. So the left hand side is the parametric, the left half is the parametric version of the test, and the right hand side it is the non-parametric version of the test where the data is not normally distributed. So for the parametric test, just complementary, non-parametric test, data is normally distributed, then you will use the parametric test, not normally distributed, then the non-parametric test. So now you see the t-test. T-test we will apply when your group are unrelated, the group are not related like male and female, drug A and B. They are not related with each other and your test variable is normal and continuous in nature, then we apply the student sample T-test. When in the another situation, if your variable are related, in case pre-post assessment, like some continuous variable we have examined at time point 1 and another the same person we examine after the some particular period of the time, like in the anesthesia use, we are assessing the pain score at 1 hour and after 6 hour or 24 hour. This type of the scenario will fall when same person we are taking measurement at multiple time point. Then this type of the scenario we use the pair t-test. If you have only 2 time point, then we use the pair t-test in this case. And another situation will come when your group is more than 2. Like an earlier case, we had only two groups, male and female. And suppose you have group is more than 2, like the designation. Designation is professor, associate professor, assistant professor, JR, SR, and other. If the group are more than 2 and your test variable is continuous and normal in nature, like age or BMI or glucose, in such type of the scenario, if the group are unrelated with each other, like A, B, C, D, there are many drugs and these are not related with each other, then we will use one-way ANOVA analysis. One-way ANOVA analysis. And in the another situation, when the groups are related, multiple time points, like the pain assessment we are doing for 5 time points, more than 2 time points. If it is happening, then we use the repeated measure of the ANOVA analysis in such type of the scenario. And that will only come when the data is normally distributed. When data is not normally distributed, for the student test, you will use the Wilcoxon rank sum test. For the pair t-test, complementary is Wilcoxon sign rank test. For the one-way ANOVA, Kruskal-Wallis test, non-parametric version we use. For the repeated measure of the ANOVA, we use Friedman test in that scenario. So now time is not sufficient for me to go in the detail for everyone, but I have some example what I would like to give to you. Suppose this is the comparison we want to do. Is there is difference in the diastolic blood pressure between male and female? We have 2 groups, male and female. Test variable are continuous in nature as it is the diastolic blood pressure. The exact numerical value, it is coming from the BP machine we are taking. So what test we will apply in this scenario?
Student t-test.
Student t-test. Okay, so very correctly he told it is student t-test. And in this case, another scenario, if there is any difference in the statistical knowledge between pre and post workshop,
Pair t-test.
pair t-test, very correct. And now in this case, suppose we have more than 2 groups. Group are more than 2 and test variable is continuous in nature, like group treatment A, treatment B, treatment C, treatment D. And we want to know the difference in blood glucose level in all these 4 treatment group. What type of the test we will apply in this case?
ANOVA.
One-way ANOVA, because
One-way
ANOVA has
ANOVA.
many
One-way
names.
ANOVA.
2-way ANOVA, factorial ANOVA. So ideal name will be the one-way ANOVA that we should use. So now I will go to the SPSS to do this analysis using the SPSS, how to do this. So again, I will stop sharing this. Then again. So now my SPSS window is visible to everyone.
Yes.
So now we see, we want to know the diastolic blood pressure difference between male and female. So we will go to the analyze, then we will go to the compare mean, then we will go to the independent sample t-test. Okay, independent sample t-test we will select, then we will select the test variable is systolic blood pressure. So I will take the systolic blood pressure in this case, and grouping variable is gender, male and female. This variable I will drag it to the group variable. But now we have to define the group here. That is the requirement of the SPSS. What code you have given. So for the male and female, I have given 1 for female, 2 for male. So that group variable name I will have to enter. We have to specify the values. So after doing this, I think most of the thing is done. So if we press OK, then we will get the difference in the systolic blood pressure between male and female. So what is your hypothesis? What do you think? Whether the difference will be there or there will be no difference? What, according to your clinical judgment, what do you feel?
Will be there.
The difference will be there. Difference will be there or there will be no difference? What do you think?
No difference.
No difference in the systolic blood pressure. Everyone agree there will be no any difference in the systolic blood pressure if you are comparing male and female systolic blood pressure? So let us see what is happening. Okay, this is the real data set I have collected from the workshop participants. So just you see the result, what is happening. So once you click the OK, this t-test analysis is done. So now you see the female number is 38, okay, and 38, and the male number is 45. The mean systolic blood pressure is 112.16 in the female, and in the male it is 124.51. So this is the standard deviation in both the group, and after that it is the standard error. So now you see the p-value in this table. So this is the p-value here in the SPSS, significant two-tailed, if you are seeing, it is 0.000. What I told you is SPSS give also this type of the p-value, where but you have to write correct p-value in terms of less than 0.001. So now you see the difference is there or not. What you can infer with this real data set?
There.
So female have low systolic blood pressure as compared to the males. What inference we got from this workshop participant data? Definitely it will not represent the data. There will be many confounding factor in this. But from this data point, we can able to infer that female have the low BP, low systolic blood pressure as compared to the males, which is statistically significant also. What was the next question we wanted to know? That is the statistical knowledge before and after the workshop. The test you already know. We will apply the paired t-test. We will go to the analyze. Then we will go to the compare mean. Then we go to the paired sample t-test. Paired sample t-test, there will be pair variable. We need to select it. So we wanted to know the difference in the statistical knowledge before the workshop and after the workshop. These two variable, we will drag it here in the paired t-test window. Then we will press the OK. Then this window will appear from where we can able to see whether workshop can able to make the change in increasing the statistical knowledge or not. So for the statistical test, what we have done, the minimum values were 0 and maximum is 20. So if you see the prior to start of the workshop, the mean value for the stat knowledge was 8.93. And after that conduction of the workshop, 13.57. So yes, there is difference. And this is the p-value. We can able to see it here, or here also the pair t-test p-value. It is 0.000 it is showing. So it is, we can able to infer, yes, statistical workshop can make the change in increasing the statistical knowledge. Okay. So this is the pair t-test. Now I will take one more example for doing the ANOVA test. ANOVA test, we know when we have more than two groups and we want to test the continuous variable. whether there is difference or not. So in this categorical variable, I am taking the example of designation. Designation has 5 categories, and in the designation, we want to compare the age, whether the age is different in different designation or no. So one-way ANOVA is the correct test we will use. We will go to the analyze, then we will go to the compare mean, then we will go to the one-way ANOVA, and one-way ANOVA we will select the designation in the factor variable, then age in the dependent variable. So whether age is different among all these 5 designation or not, that we will see. In the ANOVA, we have to do some, we have to tick something. We'll have to do some correction for the correcting the type 1 error, because if you are increasing the number of the group, there are chances for the false positive finding. So therefore, some correction need to be done. The very commonly used correction we use is Bonferroni correction, which gives us to also compare the postdoc test. And then we have the option here to see what statistics we want to see. Suppose descriptive thing also we want to see, we will tick in the descriptive. There are many other things. If anyone want to see it, you can tick it and you can see the output in your statistical output window. So after clicking everything, we will press OK, and this is the value we are getting for the one-way ANOVA test. So professor 5 in number, their age was 46.40, associate professor 24 in number, the mean age was 48.17, assistant professor 39.38, JRSR 33.20, and others 32.60. These are the standard deviation and these are the standard error, and this is the p-value for the ANOVA. So we can say from this table, yes, there are difference in this age among all these 4 category of the designation. And if we want to see the postdoc analysis, this is the window where the one-by-one comparison is available in the ANOVA analysis. Suppose we want to compare professor with the associate professor. This is the p-value. There is no any significant difference between professor and associate professor. This is the mean difference. And from professor to assistant professor, this is the p-value 0.013. Mean difference was 7 years. Between professor and SR, the mean difference was 13.2. This is the p-value 0.000. So similarly, one-by-one comparison you can able to see with this table, and the same table you can report in your statistical writing. So I think time is already over for me. So I don't think I will continue more. So if any question from the participants related to these statistical tests or SPSS, please let me know or ask. Please ask.
Okay. You can type
Any
your
question?
you can type if you have any question, please type. You know, it's very short time to learn SPSS.
Yeah, actually these are very
Yeah,
one day workshop we used to do, but in a very quick period of time.
you tried your best. You did your best.
Yeah. Please let me know if anyone have the question.
Okay. Can do 1 or 2 questions. No more questions. Then we'll move to the next speaker, Tulsi ma'am, Tulsi Adhikari, Dr. Tulsi Adhikari.
Thank you very much to all.
Dr. Tulsi Adhikari ma'am, he will.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Amit, for a wonderful presentation of SPSS.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I am here after having my lunch. So I was
video, ma'am. Video is not.
Sorry. I was feeling little sleepy, waiting for my presentation. So now let us start. Now I'm going to present the trial registration in Clinical Trial Registry India. Actually, this CTRI, is it visible to all?
Yes, ma'am. I can.
Okay, okay. Just let me hide this. Can we hide this bar which is coming below this? Yeah.
Ma'am, I cannot do. I can only do.
No, no, I have done it. Okay, okay. So this my presentation mode is it visible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So I'm going to talk about the trial registration in Clinical Trial Registry. CTRI was actually established in the year 2007 by ICMR, and ICMR NIMS was it was hosted by ICMR NIMS, National Institute of Medical Statistics. So let me give you a little history about the trial registries. In the year 2004, the ICMJ, the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors, published the ICMG recommendation, which states that medical journals only publish clinical research if the researchers have registered it in a publicly available trial registry. And this statement has a global influence, and also it has implications for clinical trial registration in India also. And the conversation regarding the trial registration started from there onwards. And the ICMR took the initiative and established the CTRI on 20th July 2007. Actually, the work initiated in the year 2006, and then it was finished. The registry was established in the year 2007, 20th July it was launched. And by the end of the year 2007, we had registered 31 trials only. And in the year February 2008, various editors of medical journals in India also, they pledged to avoid publishing articles about any clinical trial, especially in India, which was not registered in a publicly available trial registry. So now onwards, in the 2007 onwards, CTRI was the publicly accessible trial registry available in India. And in the 59th General Assembly of the World Medical Association in the year 2008 emphasized again that every clinical trial must be registered in a publicly accessible database before recruitment of the first subject. That is, the trial should be registered prospectively. Okay, and once the subjects have been they have been registered, or the first subject registered in trial, then the trial cannot be registered with CTRI. So the registration of all interventional trial is a scientific, ethical, and moral responsibility that WHO states. And the in the year 2009, in India, the Central Drug Standard Control Organization made trial registration mandatory on 15 June 2009. So after that date, 15 June 2009, all the regulatory trials have to be compulsorily registered with CTRI. That CDSO made it mandatory to register the trial with CTRI. So why do we actually, what is the logic behind registration? Why do we need registration? So it ensures registration in publicly accessible trial registry, ensures transparency and accountability, and to create increase public trust in the conduct of the clinical trial. All the clinical trials should be registered at inception. Inception means before registering the first participant into our trial, and all results should be made publicly available after completion of the trial. And the clinical trial registration and result reporting would help ensure unbiased public record on safety and efficacy of the drug. So all the details, if you register your trial on any trial registry which is publicly accessible. The all after completion, the detail about safety and efficacy of the drugs are available on public domain. So it creates a public trust. Until 2007, there was no national registry of clinical trials in India, and ICMR, through its National Institute of Medical Statistics, took up the lead to set up the clinical trial registry India, that is CTRI, and the website is www.ctri.nic.in. So all you must be knowing about CTRI. And at present, CTRI is one of the 17 primary registries of WHO's International Clinical Trial Registry portal. So WHO has a portal which is not a trial registry, but it's a consortium of 17 worldwide primary registries. So CTRI is one of them. So all the trials which are registered with CTRI are on the monthly basis are uploaded to ICTRP. So it is available on the global forum publicly to all over the world. So on WHO website, you can see this primary registries in WHO registry network. So you can see this CTRI is available here. And this is the network of WHO's ICTRP portal, and CTRI in India is here. And this is the website of Clinical Trial Registry India. You all must be familiar with this homepage. So objectives of CTRI are to establish a public record system by registering all clinical trials on health products that are drug, device, vaccine, herbal drugs, and is made available to both public and healthcare professional in an unbiased, scientific, and timely manner. And to create unbiased means since the initiation of your proposal, whenever you start working on your proposal is ready, you can upload your all the details about the trial since the inception on the CTRI. So it creates a unbiased data set on the public domain, and you enter all the scientific detail about your methodology, your primary objective, contact details, your sample size, what is your study design, what are your outcome indicators, your ethics approval or your approval, DCGI approval. So everything, the scientific detail is available on the public domain. And the timely manners means before initiation of your trial, actual initiation of trial. That means before enrolling first patient into your trial. And the second objective is to create a complete, authentic, and readily available data on all ongoing and completed clinical trials. So everything is available on the public domain, and to provide a corrective system against positive result bias and selective reporting of research result to peer review publication. So previously what has to happen that only the positive results are published in journals. The trial is are also, they don't publish if their findings are negative, and also the journals only take the if you find something positive, so they accept those type of studies only for publication. But now once everything since inception your trial detail is available on the public domain, so in a way it corrects this system against the positive result bias and selective reporting of results. And the objective is to increase awareness of all the participants to the clinical trial, and also increase public access to research being conducted. So once your trial is registered, all your details, whatever you enter, except your new and the documents, the ethics document and the DCGI approval, those are not available on the public domain. But other than that, all detail is available on the public domain. So suppose some patient is there, they want to get registered with a trial of their interest, so they can go to the CTRI and search for the trials relating to their interest. And in a CTRI portal, we have the contact details, the trialist and the other stakeholder, so they can just connect with those stakeholders and get them registered with the specific trial of their interest. And two, it creates the CTRI registration is to promote training, assistance, and advocacy for clinical trials and its registration. So when you enter, when this, especially the students start entering their trial detail in the system, in the CTRI portal, so indirectly it creates, training module for them. They get training, they get assistance about their, about the study design, about the sample size, about their outcome, what is their outcome indicator. So they get training and they get, clarity on all those aspects. So you must be, the question must be in your mind that which all trials are to be registered. So interventional trials, observational studies, PAB studies, post-marketing surveillance studies. So all these types of studies are they are registered in CTRI. So the especially these observational studies are not, it is not mandatory to register the observational studies into CTRI, but it is always good to register your trial so that you get the, you get the credit and the trial details are available. So if some new researcher wants to do some study, so he must know that this type of study is already going. So it, in a way reduces the duplicacy also, and it gets it, you get the credit for doing the trial. So what is the importance of registering and studying the CTRI? Ethical and regulatory considerations are there. So registration process ensure that the study is ethically sound, because you give ethical clearance documents to CTRI, and it has been approved by the independent ethics committee. It also ensures that the wherever applicable regulatory approval has also been taken, and this provides assurance to the public and the stakeholders about the studies, about the trials being conducted. So it creates a assurance and the public trust. And then the second importance is the transparency. Registering the study provides transparency and accountability also, because you, when entering the trial, you give the contact details of the trialist, contact details of the public for any public query, contact detail for any scientific query. So all these types of contact details are entered into the, so it gives the accountability by making study details available to the public, and the intention of the trialist are made clear since very inception of the study, and to improve the credibility of the study results, and it increase the trust also. And it also it helps avoiding the duplicacy. Registering the study in CTRI helps to avoid duplication of research effort, as other researchers can see the studies already being going on, and it help prevent the wastage of resources also. And then definitely you get the recognition also for doing the study, and registration of the study in CTRI gives recognition to the investigator who conduct the study, which can lead to more opportunity for funding and collaborations with other researchers. So these are the 30 data set items through which we get the information about your trial, like trial identification details are there, public title, what is the title, public title of the study, and what is this exact scientific title of the study, and if there are any acronym you want to give, that also you can give, and the secondary ID if it is a multi-country trial. So if it is already registered with some other international other country registry, so secondary ID you can give. So the scientific title, be careful that the scientific title of the study should be exactly matching with the title given in your ethics approval. And then we have the contact details, the primary principal investigator's name and address is given, and then the detail about the scientific contact person who can answer the scientific query, and contact person for public query. So all these contact details are there. Then we have the funding details, who is your primary sponsor, secondary sponsor, or source of material or monetary support. Then we have the location of the trial, where it is being conducted, whether it's in India or outside India, site of the study, exact address we have. Then we have the approvals, name of the ethics committee, and the approval status, whether it has been approved or not. So in the beginning, it may not be possible to get it approved in the beginning only, but you can start entering all these details in CTRI, and once you get the approval, you can enter one by one, the DCGI approval, the ethics approval. As and when you get these approvals, you can upload. And after all these fields have been entered correctly, then only you get the CTRI number. So then we have the methodological detailing objective, and what is your health condition. So health condition we are taking in ICD-10 codes. We are taking, then we have what is it, your type of study, interventional, observational, and then the if you are doing RCT intervention and the comparator agent. So all these methodological detailings are there, sample size, what is your primary outcome, whether you are doing blinding and masking, method of allocation, concealment, all these details are then what is any current status. On 27 you can see the status of the trial. So when you are entering your all these details, so before once you get the CTRI number, so before that the status of the trial should be not yet recruiting. Okay, so you should not be recruiting the individuals or the participant into your study unless and until you get the CTRI number. And if you by mistake or somehow you start enrolling the patient before getting the CTRI number, then you don't get, then your study is not registered with CTRI. And if you don't have CTRI number, especially for the regulatory trials or the interventional trial, your study will not be published in a good journal. Then if your study, once your study is complete, then for the completed studies, you should share the results also. Publication, if it is published, though you should give the publication detail. And then what is your data sharing plan, whether you will be sharing the data or not. So right now we don't have the data sharing portal, we don't have, but we take the commitment from the trialist that whether you will be sharing the data, and if yes, then how you are going to share the data. All those IPD sharing plan you have to disclose before in hand. So this is our website, CTRI website. And then for the common man public also, we have this trial search options, like someone want to do some data, some research they want to do, or some common man or the patient want to search for some trials to be get registered with those. So they can do it from there. We have three options. One is the key search option. You can write anything here like cancer treatment or anything. Then you can search, or we have the trial search option, and then we have the advanced search option also. So once you enter the keyword, so the accordingly this will be displayed, the CTRI number, the public title. So all the trials which are meeting your keyword search that will be displayed here. And then after clicking on this box, select box, you can get the detail about the trial. So all these contact details are also visible, and you can call those contact person, or you can send email to them. So that is the thing. So we have the advanced search option also, and we have the trial search option also. So now let us come to how to register trial. So it is very important for the students to be know how to register your trial. So let us see who can be a registrant. The trialist who is conducting the trial, the principal investigator or the postgraduate student, the CROs or the sponsor, anybody can be a trial registrant. And for multi-centric and multi-sponsor trial, the lead PI or the lead sponsor should take the responsibility of registering the trial. So initiation of the trial registration. So first of all, you have to, whosoever is entering the trial, he has to get registered first. The person should be registered with CTRI first. So you go to CTRI portal. This is the website, and then new applicant. So this is new applicant. Here you have to click, and then we will take the all your details in the form. This registration form will be filled in, and then you submit, and this form will come to us, and we will approve it. And then once we approve, we send you through email your email. We give you the login details, password, login password, and once you get, you can enter your login details, username and password, and then you will go into your portal. Your dashboard will be, and then you can add your trial. The first you have to give the public title, scientific title. Any question? Some noise is coming, so please mute yourself. So you have to enter the public title, scientific title, and the trial acronym, if any. And then if it is the Ayurveda trials, you have to click it yes. If it is not, then just click no. And this option is there for Ayurveda studies. For Ayurveda studies, we have a different set of data set items which capture the Ayurveda specific detailing about the trials. So then you proceed. So after this, proceed. This is your dashboard, and your trial will be listed. Suppose you have two trials already entered in CTRI. So this is the third one. So you will have the third trial.
Sorry.
Please mute yourself. Okay, then so this is a trial for which you have entered the title and acronym and all that. Then you can just see that your reference number is not yet generated. CTRI number definitely not generated. Yes. So all these two reference number and CTRI number is pending. Why? Because you have yet to enter your trial details. So you update. Now once you enter the primary, your title, public title, and then you update. So once you click on update, then there are 9 parts in CTRI. So which has to be filled in. The first part one is public title, scientific title. Part 2 is secondary ID, principal investigator. So all these things you have to enter one by one. And then after entering all these parts, you have to click here to submit your trial to CTRI. So once you click here, so don't forget to click here. Suppose if you just enter and then just close your portal, then this will not reach to us. This detail will not come to CTRI. It will be available with you only, not with us. So don't forget to click on submit your trial to CTRI. So once you submit, then only all these detail will come to us. So after you enter, so I'm just here showing you how to enter all these secondary ID, principal investigator. So one by one, you can just. Okay, so this is your trial submission checklist. So tick means you have correctly entered all these details, and cross means this is not yet entered. So once all these ticks, detail are ticked, then only your reference number will be generated. So once it has been done successfully, then you can see you have submitted your trial on this date, and your reference number is generated for future correspondence with CTRI. Okay, now you have submitted your trial to CTRI. So once you have submitted, the trial will be reviewed by CTRI, and it will be sent back to registrant for if any modifications or clarifications are there. And verification verification mail will be received from CTRI administration by the registrant, and will be all the modifications will be done by the registrant. So this verification mail will go to the principal investigator or the contact person for public query, and contact for the second scientific query. So all those person will get a verification mail, so as to verify whether all the details given in the trial are correct or not. The email address has been mentioned in the registration form is correct or not. So in the later stage, suppose someone want to contact with you with the given email address or with the given telephone number, so whether he will be able to correctly contact you or not, so that we first verify. So once you get the reply on that verification mail, then we move forward. And registrant will do the modification and resubmit the trial. And then confirmation mail will be sent to CTRI. And if the clarification and modification are satisfactory, then the trial will be registered, and if not, then if clarification modifications are not satisfactory, it will again go to CTRI and trial will be reviewed by CTRI once again, and then this process will continue until all the clarification and modifications suggested by CTRI are satisfactorily taken up by the trialist. So for modification in your portal, you have to click here, trial clarification modification. And once you click here, and then clarification you can access from here. Against this trial, you can clarification you can access from here. Click. And then this will be highlighted. Wherever the CTRI has indicated any clarification sought, you have to just click here on modify. So it means that in the scientific title of the study, there is some clarification sought by CTRI. So you have to click here for updating, modify. So once you click on modify, this window will open regarding what is the clarification. So information sought is this scientific title should exactly match that cleared by the EC that I mentioned you in the first slide only, that the scientific title should be exactly matching with your EC approval. So if it is not matching, we will send you the this clarification, and then you have to just modify. So when you click on modify, so the scientific title present is this, present one is this, incorrect, then you have to modify this one and then save, and then again you have to click to resubmit the trial to CTRI. If you modify and don't click here, then again that modification will not reach to us. So you have to click here on resubmit. So once your registration is done, so what all activities to be done post registration? Status of your trial will be from not yet recruiting to open to recruitment, and the tentative date of the first enrollment. So initially you had given a tentative date of enrollment, which may be required to update. You have to postpone the date also if you don't get the CTRI number before that first enrollment date. So you may have to postpone that date. So the tentative date will change to the actual date of first enrollment, and the ethics approval, if it's a multi-site trial, and initially you have submitted one or two sites have submitted the ethics approval. On the basis of one or two ethics approval, though we registered the trial, but for those sites only who have submitted the ethics approval, and for other sites other sites have to submit their ethics approval, then only they can start enrollment at that particular site. Okay, if they start enrolling before uploading the ethics approval, then this will not be correct. So this information will go to the journal's editors. So while publishing your trial, this may create some problem. So don't forget to upload the ethics approval for all the sites before enrolling the subject. So those who have uploaded the site, the ethics approval and got the CTRI registration, they can start the trial. They can start enrolling the patient or participants. So, and if there are any modifications post registration also, maybe you can modify your trial details. So for that, you have to take the approval from, definitely you have to take the approval from the ethics committee. So the revised protocol amendments have to be uploaded on CTRI with giving the ethics approval also. The trial completion termination. So if the trial is complete, so the date of study completion should be mentioned in the trial completion termination dataset items. And then we have the date of study completion also, global and Indian, and then final enrollment number achieved. Suppose initially you had given 100 sample size, maybe you could complete only 90, or some loss to follow up over there. So finally, the final enrollment number achieved you have to enter. So there's a separate data set item for this one. And then the for total and for India also. And the result disclosure section is there. So result, you can give the summary results, and then we have the, if your trial is published, so you can give the publication details also. So for unlocking a registered trial, suppose a trial is registered, you, as I already mentioned in the last slide, that if you want to modify, so those data, all those fields have to be unlocked from CTRI. So you have to send a request to CTRI that if these are the modifications we want to give, we want to update, and then you have to upload the ethics approval for that also, and you have to specify that of what all fields to be unlocked. And there is a specific SOP which has to be followed. SOP means in which format you have to, and what all approvals that you have to upload. So there's a SOP for unlocking the fields that you have to follow. So under your registered trial, there is a SOP to be followed. So it is given in the registered trial. SOP to be followed for field unlocking in a registered trial. So for site addition or deletion, what have to be done, for new contact person, what is to be done, for intervention comparator detail modification or sample size, scientific primary title and secondary outcome. So for all these different modifications, you have the SOP to be followed. So these are the key points to be kept in mind. If you have not got the reference number, this means that trial is not available for review to CTRI. So that means you have not submitted the trial to CTRI, though you have filled in all the details. But it is like the income tax detail. You fill in the income tax form, but you have to submit it also. If you don't submit it, that information will be available with you only. So in similar way, you fill in the details in your form, trial details, and then you submit it to CTRI, and then you will get reference number. So if you get the reference number, so that means you have submitted the trial to CTRI. And the assignment, please remember, the assignment of reference number does not mean that your trial is registered and you can start recruiting the participant into your trial. And prior to registration, trial details are verified and validated by CTRI by sending email to the trial contact person, the contact person for scientific query, second for public query, and the principal investigator, other than the trialist, because the trialist detail are available when he gets registered initially, when the trialist register himself. So his details are available with us. So we don't send the verification mail to the trialist, but for the other contact person he is mentioned in PI, the site, the contact person for a public query, contact person for secondary scientific query. So for all those contact person, we send the verification mail, and matching also matching trial details with the ethics approval and the DCGI approval. So we match all the trial details with ethics approval and DCGI approval, and if there is a mismatch, we again send back the trial to the trialist for doing the appropriate modification. And after reviewing, trial is usually sent back for clarification and modification. Generally, we definitely have clarifications from the trialist or modification we suggest. And registration is indicated by the assignment of CTRI number only. And the trial details are visible in the public domain once your trial is registered with CTRI, not after you get the reference ID. If you get the reference ID, that trial details don't come on the public domain. It comes only after you get the CTRI number. So these are the new recent development, not actually very recent. It's almost 1 year now. We have moved towards prospective registration. In the year April 2018, we said, but for 2 years, we also took retrospective registration for only those trials which have been entered into CTRI. They have got the reference ID and not the CTRI number. For those we were doing for up to 2021, but now onwards is completely prospective registration. So you cannot start enrolling participant into a trial once you get the CTRI number only, then you can start enrolling patient. And the ICD implementation. So ICD 10 coding we have implemented for health condition coding. Then the IPD sharing commitment is there. So when you enter your details, you have to share your commitment regarding IPD, individual patient detail sharing. So we don't say that you have, it is not yet mandatory to share the IPD data, but we want to take your commitment. What is your, take on that, whether you are going to share the data or not? So if you are going to share, how you are going to share, for how long, for after what after completing your trial, after what time you will be sharing the data. So all those commitment we take just in the form of yes, no, all that, those things. Then modified Ayurveda data set items we have for Ayurveda studies. We have a different data set items capturing the Ayurveda trial specific detailing into it. And then we have the result disclosure also. For the trialists, it is available, but it is not available on the public domain. So public cannot right now see whatever results you are sharing, but it is open for you. Then whether the EC is registered. Now, this is the actually recent development. So we have entered 2 data set items regarding the EC, your ethics committee, whether it is registered with CDSCO or DHR, yes or no. And if it is registered with CDSCO or DHR, and then the registration, what is the registration number of the EC? So this is a, it is not mandatory yet to register, but after some time, definitely it will be mandatory. So ECs, all those ECs should be registered with either CDSCO or DHR. So thank you. Any questions?
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Actually, I have query. I have faced a problem, right?
Can I stop share my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
actually, I initiated a multicentric observational trial in a different hospital. Now I have shifted to another hospital. Now, what can I do with the trial? Like, can I change PPI, or I can start the same study in a different institute?
See, you have to take the approval. Definitely, you will take, on your personal basis, you cannot shift the trial. So you will be getting some approval from your previous institute or whatever to news. So there will be some document which will state that this trial has been shifted. So that document you have to upload.
So that can be done, no?
Yes,
But
definitely.
I cannot change my site. Like, I cannot do this same study in different institute as a PI.
See, whatever you do, you have to get approvals from your ethics committee. Okay, from your institute head.
Right.
Okay, so if it is possible to get all those approval, then you can change. Yes.
And ma'am, to change the site of trial, I need to unlock.
Yeah, definitely. But once you change the site, so you will get the approval from your ethics committee also. No, well, if you change the site, the ethics committee should be informed, and they should approval that you are changing the site. So that can be done.
Definitely.
Yes, you have. So you will upload the. So there is a SOP. As I said, no, there is a SOP. You have to follow the SOP. You will send an email to us, and you will say that all these fields we want to change, and this is the ethics approval has been taken with all the respect to all these changes that has to be made. So then we will unlock. So that way can be
And
done.
ma'am, the ethic committee of my institute has given the clearance of my institute only. What about like some center they initiated, they told they will recruit person, but now they are not recruiting and they are not taking also ethical committee clearance. So I want to delete those centers. I want to enroll some new center. They have already taken ethic clearance and they want to start person recruitment.
So those can be deleted, but then you have to take approval also for that also from your institute.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any
other questions from the participants?
Yes. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Can I see your face, sir?
Yes.
It will be good to interact. Okay. Good afternoon,
Yes,
Dr.
ma'am.
Sam.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I have 3 questions.
Yes.
We frequently do cross-sectional observational studies.
Okay.
Like for an example, we are comparing ventilated patients as giving pressure support to one group and EPs to another group, and how are they faring?
So it is not observational, sir. You are giving some intervention, no?
here in this case, I am giving some intervention,
Okay.
but we do similar observational studies also. So can we register ourselves with CTRI?
Definitely, why not? Everyone can register your trial with CTRI.
That was unknown to us actually. And second
you
question
can.
is, ma'am, what is the difference between public title and scientific title?
See, public title is for common. Suppose some common men want to read what is the title, what are you doing. So there, in scientific title, we have some technical words also that not be understood by public. So for common person, you give a simpler which can be understood by a layman. So that is a public title.
Okay, and one more question, ma'am. Most of these patients are paying on from their own pockets because we have no funding for these patients because these are live patients who require that treatment. So in that case, what should we write in case of funding?
It means you are doing, you are not doing
The
the research, but
no, I am doing the research,
Ah.
but since the patients are admitted and being treated in that hospital, the patient is paying the treatment cost from their own pocket. So what about the funding? Means I am doing a research, but it is a research which is in the way of treating the patients only.
But so suppose you are not doing that particular research, but still they are there. They are in the
Yes.
clinic.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
okay. So your research is observational.
Yes.
Okay, because
Yes.
those patients are not enrolled in your research, but
Yes.
in the clinic.
Yes.
And you are just observing. So in
Yes.
that case, it is observational study. But for doing the observational study, whatever funds you want that you can take from your sponsor or any.
Okay. 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 Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other question?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us about
Thank
CTR and sample size.
Thank you
We
for
were really
giving me this
grateful to you.
opportunity. I love interacting, especially with respect to CTRI.
Yeah.
It's my passion to generate the awareness.
In future also, we'll request you for some another class for another topic.
Definitely, I can give any like SPSS also, any other statistical like regression, sample size already taught, or how to write a good proposal. And ICMR gives funds for projects, so I can give lecture on how to write a good project proposals.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye.